Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. Please put on your prayer chute and prepare for jump.
It's Mercury retrograde. That means it's time for our Soulmart.me Mercury retrograde sale. Like a 1-hour reading with Christopher Witecki, normally $159, retrogrades back to $95.10. Or try a 15-minute psychic look reading with Zen Shoemaker. She retrogrades down to $45 for a 15-minute reading. Or try the Act 3 Orbits Report. And the Jupiter Gets Emotional retrogrades the same to 1111. At Soulmart.me, mind, body, and soul improvement.
Soul Garden.
Namaste, and welcome to Soul Horoscopes Orbits Edition. From my webcam to yours, I'm Christopher Witecki, your astrologer and soul biographer, here to help you put the pieces of your soul story together. And before we dive into your horoscope, I just want to give some gratitude to all those who have donated to soulgarden.tv in the last week. Thank you so much. And for those people who have purchased readings as well. We are continuing the sale. It has helped our situation, and we are very grateful. Also, this is a special horoscope designed to cover the entire 10-day period of before and after the solar eclipse that's coming up, and I'll be talking about that. So this is a special soul horoscope designed to help you through this quantum intention time. So the sun is in sexy Scorpio. We are working on our intimacy, our boundaries, our transformation, and we're working on committing to infinity. That's how serious Scorpios take it. We're going to deal with our core boundaries, and a solar eclipse is going to give us a quantum shift on November 3rd. Now, the moon signs most affected from the eclipse on are Scorpio in the eclipse, then Sag, Capricorn's very affected, and Aquarius is at the end of the week. The moon signs most affected by this, of course, are going to be the Tauruses and Scorpios, Sag and Geminis, Capricorns and Cancers, and Aquarius and Leos. But the orange ones are the moon signs that might go into depression or the dark side based on the fact that it's the anti-sign right now. Now, looking at orbits, man, I want to point out what the solar eclipse is going to do to our chakras. You may not know this, but Scorpio actually rules two chakras, the back of the throat and the front of the solar plexus there. The orange chakra works with Taurus, and that's what gives Scorpio the ability to rule the number 0 and complete a boundary around the soul. So this particular eclipse is going to be a tug-of-war in some senses because of the Earth is going to be located in Taurus, and the sun and moon, of course, in Scorpio. So this really is the creation and death transit, and a very powerful one. And each of your horoscopes, I'll be talking about how you can have some quantum creation in this solar eclipse. Now, looking at the planets, the most compelling thing to me is this Yod, which is a big part of the build-up to the solar eclipse. It's basically God giving us the finger, sacred geometry here, pointing to Uranus to innovate our egos. So in your horoscopes, I'll be talking about how you want to channel these other two parts of yourself, the new boundaries and your aggression, into the evolution of your ego and the evolution of how you act or react in society. Now, this square is still also happening, and it's important for you to know that because the Yod is being affected by the square, which means part of the innovation deals with you have to innovate or revolutionize the rules you subscribe to. And then finally, this black Lilith Grand Trine really reaches its most apex important point. We've been having this trine for weeks. This is our emotional healing underneath the seams of what we're seeing on top of our realities. And ultimately, because of the solar eclipse hitting one corner of the trine, you're going to see this issue carry out in the rest of your life. And I'll be talking about that in the horoscopes as well. Another thing I want to point out, which is really groovy, is actually this. Venus is entering and now conjuncting the galactic center this week. This is where the sun had conjuncted for the Mayan shift, etc. So this means we're going to start sensing some real high cosmic vibrations coming down from the heavens. Another interesting thing here, this is the party, Mercury, Saturn, and the sun in Scorpio. But actually, this whole eclipse is happening in the constellation of Ophiuchus. You've probably heard before that there's a 13th constellation. Well, kind of not so much true. The truth is, this is Ophiuchus here, and this is the Scorpio constellation. But it's not that there's a 13th constellation. It's that they used in the sky one little marker to represent the whole box of Scorpio. And so some astronomers who don't understand astrology assume that because there's extra space there, that we can just fit another constellation there in our zodiac. But the truth is that Scorpio rules the whole quadrant. It's just that Scorpio, in a very hiding way, is hiding in the corner. And that's part of actually the mythology of Scorpio, is that the constellation is, of course, hiding in the Scorpio den, waiting for some victim to fall in there, right? Maybe Ophiuchus. All right, well, that's all I have for now. Let's take the ascension elevator up and see what's going on with you.
Folks, this is your captain speaking. We realize you have a choice in the astrologers you choose to fly with, and we'd just like to thank you for flying with Christopher Witecki.
Hello, ambassadors and Gemini risings, and welcome to 33,000 feet for a bird's eye view of you. So this is a profound moment in your life. This is where your life will change forever. I've been through this transit. I just went through it. When I say just, I mean 2 years ago when Saturn was in Libra. And I can tell you, your life does change. It's about changing and living different in the moment. And so for Geminis, it all comes down to what you allow to happen in the moment and what you don't allow to happen in the moment. Because what you be is what comes. So who we are in the moment is what draws in the moment our opportunities through law of attraction. So although you can sit there and go on a vision board forever, if you can't embody that vision in the moment, it won't happen. You must live the dream in the moment. You must be what you want to come. So this week, Geminis and Gemini risings will be changing their life forever. You haven't done this since the early 80s. So if you were alive and you were a child, it was happening to you. If you're an adult, you were the consequence of your own decisions. No matter what, though, here you are again. And you have the opportunity to decide and build a different moment and live in a different reality. This also involves Geminis who are spaced out and not connected to the moment. This is your chance to change that. Geminis who are unhappy in their body. This is your chance to change that. This is your chance to change everything in the moment you don't like. No matter what your strengths and weaknesses are, if you emulate it in the moment, it will grow into that. Your life will grow into that. So, this week, you are moving out of the six senses. That's what you've been doing so far in Scorpio, is looking at health issues, work issues, basic reality, and what in basic reality you don't want to have anymore in your reality. This is also you moving into the next stage of performance. Well, what kind of reality would you like? And if you are a performer like me on camera, or if you're a performer waiting tables, always up in front of 6 tables a night, I mean, at the end of the day, we all are performing at something. And so whatever you perform at, that's what we're going to be looking at. What kind of things do you want to perform at in your new life, right? So in the state of Scorpio, we're going to move from making a decision in this video anyways to holding space and committing to where we believe it's going to go. And I'm talking about your daily life. At the same time, your home planet Mercury is retrograding, which means as you are exploring your life's options, you are also exploring what life has to offer at large. So you're shopping for what life offers, and you're at the same time choosing what you want. Now, Mercury will retrograde all the way back to 2 degrees, which means that even after this week, you'll be making a lot of edits and changes. In the state of Cancer, this is the part of you that's trying to expand your soul capital. You are going to stop pushing on new manifestations after this Thursday. And Black Lilith, the part of you that was cutting away the old karma or the self-esteem issues, or cutting away the issues from childhood being self-esteem, that sort of thing, Black Lilith will go forward. So what's going to happen is on 11/27, Black Lilith will conjunct Jupiter, which means you want to be out and released of all your rage around self-esteem, can-do, confidence, or manifestation or money. You want to have all of your emotions worked out by then, because when Black Lilith conjuncts Jupiter, it's going to manifest whatever Black Lilith is carrying. All right? So that said, taking a look at the week prior to the solar eclipse, the important day is Halloween, because on that day you've made a decision to step away from an old life. And so in that Halloween 24-hour period, the moon is actually in Libra, so your inner child is also at the same time kind of lit up like a Christmas tree. So your inner child's lit up, and the universe is saying, what kind of life do you want? So whatever was going on Halloween to Friday was showing you or giving you some sort of dialogue with yourself in a Mercury retrograde to decide what kind of daily life do you want. On Friday, you started taking steps, or hopefully taking steps, toward that life and out of the old life, and also out of the way you live in the moment. It's time to live in a new moment. On Saturn Day, you're loving and trusting that this transition will happen okay, and that you will be able to pull in precisely what it is that you want, right? So on Saturday, you're loving and trusting, and you're holding that space. And for those watched over by GA, we'll be sending out extra emails and text messages in this whole period. So moving to the week of the actual eclipse, first I want to go over the slow-moving planets. Pluto, which is at 9 degrees, is saying, you are not in Kansas anymore. It's never going to feel the way it used to feel, ever. The universe will not let you fall into the old comfort zones. It's gone forever. You must create new trust in yourself. You must create a new way of doing things. Neptune at 2 degrees says, when it comes to your future and your career, be compassionate to yourself, and that's all you need to know right now. Uranus at 9 degrees says, it's retrograde and says, if anything, you're not clear on who you are in the world. You're probably wrong about that. You're probably standing on an old ego, an antiquated ego, and the way you're standing out in the world is probably not who you are. So be prepared to change that based on what your heart says it wants. Saturn, which is where all this change is really going through two phases. Two phases. One is immediately the 13th degree, which means you'll be kind of nuclear during Lightcast Day, where you're really kind of open to the best thing God offers too, and you want to stay open there. But then immediately after the Lightcast Day, it does go to 14 degrees here, and that means that you almost immediately have response. So we're going to have manifestation on Sunday, and maybe the new life coming in a week later. All right, that's how fast the solar eclipses happen. Now Jupiter, this is the part of you that's being pushed to increase your soul capital, make more money, to think of yourself as richer. This part does take a break on Thursday, and you from that point get a break, and you're going to be filling in those gaps on why it is you're valuable, etc. All right. So on Lightcast Day, Sunday, this is a day where it's an integrity day. The universe is raining down integrity. So if your health or anything else is out of integrity, you could get very sick. Be careful. Bacteria can grow crazy in this type of solar eclipse. I know, actually, the last time I went to the hospital, there was a solar eclipse in Taurus, and I'm sure that's what grew my personal infection, was that damn eclipse. It grew like wild. So you and your body need to be very careful right now and not push it past its limits during the eclipse period. You also need to stand in integrity as far as what you consider yourself to be a good life. You know, I consider life to be a vacation. It has to feel like a vacation all the time. That's the lifestyle I want. And so whatever that lifestyle is that you want to stand in integrity in that lifestyle through the whole solar eclipse and through that whole day, even the night before if you can. Show the universe what it is you want to come. Then on Monday, you're going to open up and need to open up to how that might come. It's going to come in a package you've never seen before. It's going to come in a delivery truck you don't recognize. Anything new in your life will not be recognizable when it walks in the door. So you must be open-minded as to how and the package will look. On Tuesday, though, this is when things really actually, I think, get nuclear and things really have results. So I'm predicting in my horoscopes that you'll see results from your solar eclipse on Tuesday and after. But at least on Tuesday, I think things will change enough for you to see things differently. The other thing Tuesday is a relationship change might happen, or a long-term partnership might shift on Tuesday, which also throws you into the ethos of nuclear. Then on Wednesday, light bulbs turn on, and certain ideas come up, and I think you're going to feel new potential and new ideas happen. Then, of course, on Thursday, Jupiter retrogrades. like we had said. Where's my little button for that? There it is. Jupiter retrogrades. And when it does, you have this sudden break. You're also maybe going to feel tired because you've been juiced up when it comes to manifesting, and the universe has taken away the coffee. So you might have a deflation that happens Thursday and Friday, particularly since you're in also a daily lifestyle and health transit. It's quite common that you really feel the loss of Jupiter there. We all do. We all get tired. On Friday, it's a Neptune day, so you're logging into your higher self. Your moon emotions, really from Thursday, Friday, I should have mentioned this, are very vulnerable. They're crossing over the square. You're going to face your fears between career and boundaries, and social life and boundaries on Thursday and Friday. So during this deflation, you're also feeling some fears come up. But it's on Saturday that you really have to tell the universe, hey, what I want for a lifestyle. So this whole week of exploration, you don't really have to tell the universe until Saturday, okay, I picked this one, I picked this life, I picked this job, I picked this reality, I picked this life that I think is what I want to live. All right, so no worries, Gemini. You have some time, which I know my son would love to hear. All right, it's time to prayer shoot down now. And when we get to the bottom, I have a new Serious Joy toy designed for Scorpio and Geminis right after this jump. So see you at the bottom.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. Please put on your prayer chute and prepare for jump.
It's Mercury retrograde. That means it's time for our Soulmart.me Mercury retrograde sale. Like a 1-hour reading with Christopher Witecki, normally $159, retrogrades back to $95.10. Or try a 15-minute psychic look reading with Zen Shoemaker. She retrogrades down to $45 for a 15-minute reading. Or try the Act 3 Orbits Report. And the Jupiter Gets Emotional retrogrades the same to 1111. At Soulmart.me, mind, body, and soul improvement.
Namaste, ambassadors. Did you have a good jump? Well, here we are for our Serious Joy toy. And if you're just joining Soul Garden or Soul Horoscopes, this is a little game I give you to play with yourself in your head for the week that keeps you focused on your joy and what you're manifesting. So the first thing I want you to do is change everything in your daily life now. All right? So as you go through your daily routine, I want you to go a different way to work. I want you to eat a different thing for lunch. I'd like you to wear different clothes, different shoes, different everything. Change your everything in your daily life first before the eclipse. And try to do it as much as you can, even on the eclipse, be in a brand new life, and try that feeling on. Then step 2 is to build a new launch life, okay? What's a launch life? Well, a launch life is the life that leads to the life that you want. So if you want a life of being, let's say, working in a spa, then you build a life that leads to a spa life. So it's time to build the launch life. It's time to build the launch pad. And so in the solar eclipse, you're technically building a launch pad to the new life. And so you're calculating where you're going to land in the new life, but you're really focusing on a launching pad that leads to the new life. Of course, changing everything in the old life now. Okay, Gemini and Gemini risings, that's all I have for today. I will see you in 7 days and in the solar eclipse. Come down to Soul Garden and come put your light cast intention in our SG Manifestation Temple. It's a place to group manifest if you want. And until then, I love you and live, love, be.
SoulGarden.tv.
Live, love, be was my phrase, man. I told him when I was in prison.
In prison?
Well, the fucking establishment, man. The state of California, it's all Nixon run, man. I was in for 25 years.
For medicinal marijuana?
It wasn't medicinal back then, man. They considered it a crime. Welcome to the establishment, kids. For my sacrifice, you can now smoke it up anytime you want. I did the time. You can do the crime.
Thank